Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Football and welcome to the Match Week 10 Prediction Show. Yep, 10 weeks already gone, 10 match weeks already gone. The season is flying. We are now almost getting to the middle of the season. The second last game before the third and final international break of the season. And I have the perfect guest with me to help me out with the Match Week 10 predictions. One of the most famous West Ham fans in the YouTube world, one of the most nicest fans in the YouTube world, known him for over a year now, and it's been brilliant. So, Charlie from the Hammers Chat, how are you?
I'm fine. I'll take the nicest. That I will back. I try my hardest to be a nice person. Famous, all of that stuff. No, we're not taking those ones. We're not having that. But it's good. Thank you to. It's nice to be back on one of your channels, and I'm excited. I'm excited. How's things for you?
Things are good. Things are good. If we were doing this prediction show with you like 6 weeks ago, it wouldn't have been good. We were losing every single game. But it's good. It's good to be here in a neutral world. So, so far I've played against 9 people. I've won 4 of those weeks. I've been beaten 5 times. So I'm hoping to beat you to equal it to 5-5. But if you beat me, it's obviously going to 6-4. Last season we did it differently. I usually never used to like compile the scores and everything, but this season I've added the stakes and I'm compiling the scores, and let's see how it goes by the end of the season. So as usually, get 3 points for predicting the correct score. So if you predict 3-3 and it ends in a 3-3, you get 3 points. 1-1, 2-2, 2-1, whatever, and it ends in that score, you get 3 points. If you predict a 2-0 win for, let's say, West Ham, but you still win 3-0 but not 2-0, you still get 1 point for predicting the correct result. And at the end, I have 2 bonus questions that have bonus points as well. So let's get started. The first fixture happens to be Arsenal. Charlie, Leicester against Arsenal. Try and be nice. Leicester recently upped their game. They said the season's slow, same with Arsenal, but both teams are currently on form. So what do you expect in this one?
Yeah, like you say, I think this is again another one of those ones where I think it's going to be a much better match than it would have been a month ago or whatever. Like both teams are stepping up. Both teams are starting to look like they should. Leicester, I can't. It's weird. Both teams, I sort of also can't tell where they're going fully. Leicester are like, I look at a lot of their players and they're good, but I'm like, I can never tell where they should finish in the season. And I think it's similar again a little bit with Arsenal, where I look at it and I think Arsenal have got some genuine, like Aubameyang, for example, is a world-class striker. There are like legit world-class players in that team, but I still can't quite figure out exactly where on the sort of scale they should finish. When you talk about this game specifically, I'm interested to see how Arteta starts. I just because I've always backed him. Like I've been on this show, I've been on other Arsenal channels as well, and I've always been someone who's actually quite backed Arteta. I've always thought like this, you finally got a manager you could sort of build around and build with. And I'm hoping that continues. I think I feel a bit foolish, but I'm backing Arsenal in this one. I'm backing Arsenal. I don't know if you want. Do you want my score prediction now?
Yeah,
I'm backing Arsenal 2-1. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen.
I'm going to go for the exact same score. I was just on a Leicester channel today and I predicted the same exact score. So I'm going to go for Leicester 1, Arsenal 2. Leicester's games this season have been mad. They've had 2-2s, 4-3s in the Europa League. They beat United 4-2. They've had lots of 2-2s, 4-2s, 3-2s. So I don't think Arsenal score 3 or 4 goals every single time. We usually struggle to score goals these days, but you have a good defense. So I'll say 2-1 to Arsenal. I agree with you. The next game on Saturday is going to be Manchester City against Crystal Palace. Obviously, Manchester City, they win games. Last week they thumped Brighton, Crystal Palace rivals.
They don't always win games, Glenn. Okay, there's no exceptions.
Until they came across one of the best teams in England right now, West Ham. So after you guys eliminated them from the biggest competition for them, they usually like the cup. Do you think they'll be so frustrated and literally thump Crystal Palace out of frustration?
Listen, light work, Glenn. It's light work. I think they will beat Crystal Palace. Don't get me wrong. I think it will be a thing. I sort of like what Crystal Palace are doing. I think they're getting there for once. I think they've been surviving for a long time, and I think they're no longer in survival mode. They're in a sort of beginning of a building phase and moving forward. And it's also, I don't know if you're probably the same because you're an Arsenal fan. I just get very excited seeing Patrick Vieira existing. Do you know what I mean? There's something about like managers from when I who were the best footballers in the world when I was a kid existing on the touchline. It just gets me always a fun time, and that's certainly one of them. But yeah, I think Crystal Palace are getting there, but I suspect City will roll up and beat them. I'll say 3-0. I don't want to be too harsh on Crystal Palace, but I will say 3-0. I think it is going to be a little bit of a rout because, like Manchester City, they do win games a lot of consistency. Even against us, like they probably should have scored. They had all the possession they had. They were doing the nice intricate passing. It happened. It's just they're not as massive as we are, so it didn't quite work out for them. But you know what I mean? It is a case of like I think Manchester City are gonna. It's the wrong time. It's the wrong time for Crystal Palace to be facing Manchester City. So I'll say 3-0 City.
3-0 to City. I was actually going to go for the exact same, but I'm going to change. I think Crystal Palace can get a goal somewhere. So Edward, Gallagher, all very good players. So I can see them getting a goal. I'm going to go for City 3, Crystal Palace 1. So a 3-1 win for Manchester City. At the same time, we have another game, Liverpool against Brighton. Now, we've just talked about Brighton being thumped by Manchester City, but Liverpool have been on form. I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed them scoring every single goal against United last week. So do you think they'll do the same this week?
Depressingly, yes. I really like Brighton. Like, whereas I like their manager, I like the way they go about their business, I like a lot of their players. They've got a seagull on their badge. It's all just good stuff. You know what I mean? I really do like Brighton a lot. I think they're doing well. They were doing well. They've hit a little bit of a patch now where they're starting to stall a little bit, but they were on fire early doors in the season. They really were.
Yeah.
And I think I really want to back them to continue that, but I just can't. I just don't know. I just can't see it happening. I just can't. Not against Liverpool, like you say. They are in such good form. And like that Manchester United game was just something else. Salah absolutely blapping people. They were pulling them apart with ease. And that's not. And again, look, we could talk about Ollie and everything else, and I'm sure we'll bring it up after when we get to Manchester United. But they aren't a team of nobodies, and Liverpool made them look like a team of nobodies who'd ever seen each other. I'm going to go 3-0 again, and I'm going to say it's obviously to Liverpool. But I only see it going one way.
It would be the shock of the year if it was 3-0 to Brighton. That would be so shocking. That itself.
Let's back it. 3-0 Brighton. Let's go. No, 3-0 Liverpool.
That in itself would make Man United suck Solskjaer. If Brighton go to Liverpool and win 3-0, United would be like, no, how can we lose 5-0? And speaking of 5-0, I'm going to go for another 5-0, man. They say good things come in threes. I think they beat Watford 5-0, beat United 5-0. I think they'll do it again, 5-0. I'm just going to back it. Liverpool 5, Brighton 0. They are so good right now. They did not have any of their players in the Carabao Cup fixture against Preston. Salah rested, Mane rested. That's 2 games in a row. Mane is rested. He will be fresh. Firmino scoring hat-tricks. Salah scoring hat-tricks. 5-0 to Liverpool. At the same time, we will have Newcastle against Chelsea. Obviously, Newcastle, the money machines these days. What do you expect from this game?
I suspect Newcastle sort of no Steve Bruce bounce will end. I do. I think Chelsea are too good for them. I don't understand how Ben Chilwell keeps scoring. He just keeps doing it. If you've got him in your fantasy league team, my God, you're getting points for days. That guy just won't stop. I don't understand it, but I think Newcastle are. Look, we'll see. That's their story is just beginning in a way. We're post Steve Bruce, we're post Mike Ashley now, so their story is just beginning. But that bounce that they've had, and I say bounce, it just means they've not been completely hopeless. I don't think it's going to continue against Chelsea by any stretch of imagination. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the other 2 matches in terms of a rough scoreline, but I'm still going to say a comfortable 2-0 win for Chelsea.
2-0 win for Chelsea. And I agree in terms of Chilwell. It's like Alonso started the first few games of the season, and Alonso is always attacking. It's like Chilwell was like, nah, the moment I get my chance, I'll also start scoring goals just like Alonso, so that Thomas Tuchel picks me. And I think he's got like 4 games in a row. And it's not like simple tapping. It's like bang after banger, like every single game. So I'm going to go for higher than that. I'm going to go for Newcastle 1, Chelsea 3. I think they'll get 1 goal from a set piece or something. So 3-1 to Chelsea. And then at the same time, we might not have that many goals in this one. Burnley against Brentford. What are you expecting in this game? Brentford, obviously, they surprisingly beat both of us. Beat West Ham at the London Stadium, and they beat Aston in the first game of the season. Do you think they'll get a win here?
Yes, I do. I really like Brentford a lot. I've got a soft spot for them. When I was a kid, so my dad was from West London, so a lot of his friends supported Brentford because it was from that sort of area. So when I was a kid and Brentford were terrible and in League Two, we went to watch them quite a bit because it was incredibly cheap to go watch them at a weekend. So I've seen quite a bit of Brentford, and I have such a soft spot for them. And to be honest with you, I wasn't actually surprised they beat us, because I felt like the way they played just suited us perfectly. They were pressing, they pushed our double pivot of Rice and Souček back. It really stopped us being effective in any way, shape, or form. And I think they've got too much for Burnley here. Burnley are a stoic team. They're the same as they always ever will be, especially under the current management. It just is the way it is, and I don't think it will be high scoring because of that. But Brentford are Tony and Wemo, like they've got such a good team there, such a good group of players who know each other. They play brilliantly together. I'm trying to think whether I'll go 1-0 Brentford, because I really do think it'll be low scoring. But honestly, Brentford they've just got too much. I can't see a situation in which Burnley win this one, unfortunately.
I always back these guys. I always back Sean Dyche to have like a set piece from somewhere. Sure. Funny enough, I think Brentford scored a set piece against you and a set piece against us as well. So this is looking like a draw. I'm going to go for Burnley 1, Brentford 1, a 1-1 draw. So you've given the 5 predictions first for the next 5 games. I am going to go first. So we will start with this one: Watford against Southampton. The last game at the 3 p.m. kickoff. So Watford, obviously, last week, man, they shocked Everton, and Josh King literally ripped Everton apart, man. Like, his former club did not get a game there, and he literally ripped them apart. Southampton, recently, they've not won that many games this season. Ward-Prowse has been missing through suspension. I think they're missing Ings. They're missing the goals from Ings. A couple of them defenders left, Bertrand and Vestergaard. So I think Watford will get another win. Back-to-back wins for Watford. I'm going to go for Watford 2, Southampton 1.
I don't know which way this one's going to go. Like you say, Watford were... I don't understand how the Everton thing happened. It made no sense, and yet it did.
2-1 to Everton in the 75th minute.
It was mad. It was chaos. It was chaos because I didn't even know the result, and then I was watching Match of the Day to catch up with stuff, and then he just carried on scoring. He just kept going and going. I don't know how it happens. Ranieri is probably a really good appointment for them, to be fair. And you look at them, and I'm not when I say Leicester potential, I don't mean winning the league. I just mean you've got a group of players there who can sort of play that system and work for Ranieri. So it's probably a really good appointment, smart appointment. But when it comes to this, I'm not sure. I like Southampton. I like the way they play. I like a lot of their players, but like you say, they're sort of not at this point. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 1-1 draw. First draw, I predict. But honestly, if you told me it went heavily in one direction or the other, I'd probably believe you.
It could go anywhere. It could go 3-0 Southampton, 4-0 Watford. It could be anything. So the next game, the last kickoff on Saturday, the last game on Saturday, we've heard about the El Clasico, but I think this is like the El Saquico. Like, anyone who loses this game could be out of the job. I mean, Tottenham fans, I've never seen a manager who comes into a team and literally from the first day, no fan wants him. Like, literally, there's no one who wants Nuno there at all. The Tottenham fans, and same applies to Ole. About 90% of the United fans do not want him. So, I mean, Tottenham lost to you guys last week, Antonio scoring. United got thumped by Liverpool last week. They also lost. Tottenham lost in the Europa League as well. United lost again in I think it was Europa. Both of these teams you've beaten, by the way. That's how good West Ham is. Both of these teams you've beaten in the Carabao Cup.
You can say that for most of the people coming up. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yes. So I can't see United winning at all. I know they really need it. Ole really needs it, and I think this could easily be his last game. I think Tottenham will turn up. And that United defense is awful. So I'm going to go for Tottenham 2, United 1, a 2-1 victory for Tottenham. As much as it pains me to say, Tottenham to win 2-1.
Quick question. What do you think Nuno is the right guy for Tottenham? If you take off your Arsenal glasses for a second, because obviously then the answer would probably be yes. Do you think Nuno is the right guy for Tottenham?
Nah, he does not fit, and that shows you from how they picked him. He was literally like that 10th choice. They had like 9 people ahead of him, and they're like, you know what? There's no one who's going to come. Let's just pick him. I do not think so. He's kind of the Wolves guy. No disrespect to Wolves, like the kind of Wolves, Brighton kind of manager, but not Tottenham. I do not think so at all. Not at all. He does not fit.
Fair. I honestly don't know which way this one's going to go at all.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, I think there's more pressure on Ollie out of the two of them, because I think he's obviously been in the job a lot longer. I think Spurs would prefer to keep Nuno for a while, even if the fans aren't happy with him. I think Spurs management would probably prefer to keep him, and I think we sort of know. I don't think Nuno will maybe significantly change what he's going to do, you know.
Yeah.
And it's weird. I think both teams are sort of probably a similar level in that they have a couple of world-class players in each, you know, Kane and Son versus Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes. You probably put Pogba in there. And I think they're very equally matched. Glenn, it's a very equally matched mid-table clash, this one.
Yeah, it's
you love
equally
to see
bad.
it. You love to see it. You love to see it.
Yeah.
But I do think the pressure is Ollie, and maybe it's just because he smiles a lot, but I'm going to back him to come away with it. And I think you'll see a side who even if they will be defensively awful, like you say, I think they'll come away fit and firing. This is a bold scoreline prediction, and I think I'm going to be wrong, but I'll say 3-2 to Manchester United.
3-2 to Manchester United. This could be the difference in this prediction show this week. I mean, I've gone for Tottenham win, and it's gone for Manchester United win. Could easily be a 0-0 as well. Last season we saw a lot of stuff. Let's go into Sunday. Norwich against Leeds United. Now, last week United were crying, Everton were crying, but I don't know what Norwich were doing. They were depressed last week. I saw their fans after the match, like all their fan comes and everything. They literally seem like they've already been relegated after 7-8 games already. They got thumped. They did not show any energy in that match at all. We obviously played Leeds the other day, and also they did not look good at all. They're missing Bamford. So Leeds are saying this is a game we have to win, and Norwich is saying we've not won any game. We need to start with a win at home to Leeds United. So I am going to go for a draw here. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Probably the smart decision. Look, Norwich is so just far away from what you need to be in the Premier League, and they punch above their weight consistently when it comes to just everything. And I think to an extent, when I've seen their matches, I think they have been a little bit unlucky at times, but they just seem so down in the dumps and defeated right now that it's going to be a struggle to see where they go. But as you say, Leeds aren't playing super well, and it could be a situation like us against Tottenham, where all it takes is a single goal very late in the game, and that's it. It's a smash and grab. But I don't know. I think Bielsa's side is as bad as they have been. They still come out and do their thing, and they play the same way. And I think that will be probably too much for Norwich to deal with. I'm going to say this may be a bit bold, but I'm going to say 2-0 Leeds. I do think. I think that just that swarming that Bielsa teams do is probably just going to be a bit too much for that Norwich team to handle.
Yeah, so last question on Norwich. If you're a Norwich supporter, would you want Daniel Farke gone? Because I've heard a lot of people saying he's good in the Championship but not in the league. Or do you think their players are just not good enough?
I think it is the players. It might be Daniel Farke as well. It might be a mixture of the two, but I do back Farke. I think he gets his teams playing with such swagger and such style, but it's just so different when you come into the Premier League when like you can play that style. We've seen teams do it recently. Leeds, for example, came up with swagger and style, and they killed it in the Premier League. But also Leeds had a lot of money put into them. Norwich don't have that sort of funds to really improve their squad, so they're making the best out of a Championship squad to an extent. There's some players who would, if they went back down and the price was right, there's some players who would stay in the Premier League, obviously. But at the same time, you look at it and you'd say most of those players just aren't. So I think it is the players, but that's not to say if you had a more pragmatic manager, you might not do better in the Premier League than Daniel Farke. But I don't think it's necessarily his ability more than it is his steadfast, stubborn nature of going, we're doing this sort of thing.
Okay, and then the second last game, the big one, the last one on Sunday, we have Aston Villa against West Ham. I was trying to think of a player who's played for both teams. I could not think of any. Rio Coca played for Aston Villa. Marlon Harewood. Did Rio Coca play for West Ham?
He did, yeah. He was our captain when we got promoted under Alan Pardew.
I remember he played for Aston Villa as well. So at least I was thinking the right direction. So the Marlon Harewood, the Rio Coca derby, the Aston Villa Lost last time to Arsenal against a very, very massive West Ham. They beat Tottenham on a weekend, beat City on the midweek, that beaten United in another midweek. I mean, you're now literally, last time out, you're sacking David Moyes. He now came back, you're now competing. You're literally competing against the bigger teams. I mean, anytime Arsenal face West Ham, I cannot imagine we are confident to beat you guys. Last season, we scored 3 goals within 10 minutes. And we almost got smashed by 6. So I'm going to go for, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I actually had a stat. I don't know if you know about this, but Danny Ings has played against West Ham 10 times and he's never scored against you. So
trust me, it gets passed around. It gets passed around, and every time we face him, we're like, "Now's the time."
So, as much as I like to back you here, I think Aston Villa lost the last game against Arsenal. I'm going to go for a very high-scoring game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this one, Charlie.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard, Glenn, but we're massive. It's what we do now. It's mad. I still don't fully understand it. We're 4th in the Premier League. If we beat Genk in our reverse fixture in Europa League,
qualified.
We guarantee being top of the table with 2 games to go.
Yeah.
We've beaten Manchester United and Manchester City in the League Cup so far.
I smashed Newcastle up by 4. You smashed Leicester up by 4.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. When I first came on one of your shows, I was slating Mikel Antonio, and now he's like just out here doing goals non-stop. I don't get it, Glenn. I don't understand. I'm fine.
Defenders like Craig Dawson are like scoring penalties now.
I know. Big Brexit Craig coming through, right? 2 people for days, stopping people. You're like, all right, he's a reliable defender. Then he steps up and smashes in. I don't get it. I don't get it. Villa have got a lot going on right now in that team. I think they've been and it's not even really been quiet, but they've been spending money. They really have been spending money on getting something together there. And I think they're sort of, whereas I think they were maybe perhaps a little bit lucky, maybe Grealish inspired them to survive a little while ago. Now you look at them and you're like, oh, this is actually a decent team they've got going on here. I think, you're looking at the centre backs, Konsa and Mings, I think are really good. I'm in love with John McGinn. If you could give me John McGinn now, I would take him every day of the week.
I literally say that today morning as well. John McGinn and Tielemans, absolutely love them.
Yeah, I think John McGinn, I think he's so underrated. I think people ignore him and I don't know why. I think he's still good. But listen, when you come up against a massive side, it don't matter who you got, Glenn. We're rolling right now and it's happening. I think it will be, I'll say 2-1 West Ham, and I'll give Danny Ings the goal. I think it's the right time. But
the one thing I like about West Ham,
I can't knock back us right now.
You guys usually like West Ham because you usually score from anywhere. It could be a set piece, it could be a corner, free kick, it could be a penalty. Although I don't know about Noble though, missing the United penalty. Rice can score a penalty. Ben Drama can score a penalty. It could be some magic from Ben Drama and Fornals. It could be Soucek bombing into the box last minute. It could be anything. So I think you'll have like a 2-1 lead somewhere, and then maybe a careless penalty given away after praising Craig Dawson maybe, and then Ings scores the penalty, the goal. I like that. So the last game on Monday will be Wolves against Everton. Wolves, they struggled last season, obviously, almost got relegated before they picked it up. This season have been up and down. Everton, as we said earlier, got trashed 5 goals by Watford last week. Do you think the honeymoon period for Benitez is over?
Yeah. I think it is. I think he's been unlucky of late with injuries, with like in that game specifically. You didn't have Richarlison, you don't have Calvert-Lewin. It's not like he's playing with his strongest side or anything. And then, don't get me wrong, like Gray is decent. I think Townsend and people like that are decent, but it is like you're sort of playing with a forced hand. And a guy who I love, but I wish he wasn't as bad as he was, Alex Iwobi. He's been all over this. Like, my God, I want Alex Iwobi to succeed more than I want anyone in football to succeed almost. And I'm just like,
we stole money from them. He's not worth 40 million. That was a robbery. That was a daylight robbery. 40 million for Iwobi.
Proper big white collar crime going on there. He's playing with obviously a lesson side, but at the same time,
so before you go to the prediction, I remember I was supposed to predict it fast. So
fair enough.
I'm going to go for Wolves 2, Everton 2. Keep on.
I at the same time, I think I'm gonna say I'll say 2-1 Wolves. I think Wolves have got what it. I think I do think the honeymoon periods are over, like you say. I think the way they will step up, they've been stepping up a little bit of late. I think it's theirs to lose this one. Benitez's team will be. I see. This is the thing. I would usually say they'd be hard to beat, but then Watford just absolutely blacked them off the park. So I don't know. The world is upside down right now. West Ham are good. Antonio's scoring goals. Who knows what's going on? I'll say Wolves 2-1. I'll say Wolves 2-1. But long term, I 100% back Rafa to turn that around and make them a very good side, Everton. But just for now, I think it's just a bit early. Like you say, the honeymoon period's over, and they're on that dip before the rise.
Yeah, Arsenal are keeping clean sheets. Man United are losing by 5 goals. I mean, as you famously like to quote, you love to see it.
You love to see it.
Let's get to the bonus question. Those are your 10 predictions for the game. Here are the bonus questions. 1 player to definitely score. You have 500 players to pick from, 10 games to pick from. Who will definitely score?
That's a great shout. Yeah, Salah has to, right? Salah going up against Brighton, it's just got to happen. I mean, I would be shocked if it didn't.
Salah to score for Liverpool against Brighton. I'm going to go for the Newcastle Chelsea game. I'm going to go for Mount to score once again. I think now he's on form. They have no strikers. Lukaku, Varane not there. Mount, I think, could be on penalties if Jorginho is not on the pitch. He's on free kicks. So I'm going to go for Mason Mount to score for Chelsea. And then the last bonus question is the total number of goals to be scored this match. If you get this one, you get 5 points. You basically win everything if you get this one. So there's one person has actually gotten this on spot on this season, surprisingly.
No way.
Like 27, and they were 27. Last week, for example, we were saying 26, 27, and there were 40. There were like 7 goals, 5 nils, 5 threes. So it's crazy. So I'm going to go for 31.
Oh, I was thinking around that.
Yeah.
How that person got it right, by the way, that's insane. Yeah, that is lunacy. I'll go up. This is maybe a bit cheeky, but I'll say 30. I was thinking in the very, very low 30s, and then you bust out 31, and then I think, there's a couple of games there where I've predicted goals where I'm thinking, this could quite easily just be a 0-0. So I think I'll go under that. I'll go 30.
I mean, City could be goals. Liverpool could be goals, as you say. Aston Villa, West Ham, expecting 3+ goals. Wolves are same. So let's wait and see. So officially, this is the longest prediction show I've done, by the way. So you keep setting the records. You keep setting the records. You keep setting the records. Last night with your watch along today with this show, you keep setting the records with the numbers. So I'll leave his link to his Twitter in the description. Make sure to follow him over there. Thank you for coming on as always. Let us know what your predictions are for the games that are coming up. Which game are you looking forward to most? Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe. I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.